Probably gonna be quick, probably. I'm gonna start with the religion thing. Um, this one of those things. Uh, I guess I got the news from one of the UFO people. God, I forgot her name, Christina something. And one of the things he brought up was somebody from the government came up to a bunch of priests and said round up the people. We're going to tell you guys something. And basically, he said that we're gonna tell you aliens made religion, and that's it, right? And that's the one because that's what they said that some guy came out said this is what they talked about. Uh, Aliens made religion for us, uh, I guess, to control or whatever the case may be. And later on, whoever was in that meeting says, no, that did not happen. We did not say that. But I what if that was the case, and you're not guaranteed a happy life, but if you follow the religion, any religion, you guaranteed an even to good life. Maybe some downfalls, but if you lose the path of the faith and stuff like that, and deviate, then that's when you might get the worst part of it. But if you keep to it and deal with the trauma and shit like that, you should be fine. You should be on the straight and narrow, and maybe more good than not, right? And I think maybe that's a case for the aliens wanting to control us. They want you to recall in it goes to the idea of because it's like you like there's a lot of things where you can like, hey, well, if that's the case, then why did somebody because this whole religion thing in itself is a little bit, we call a lot of complexities, in the sense that you have the part where it was written, and you have some parts that might have just been bullshitted by these people who had the ability to had the authority to make changes in the Bible and stuff like that. And one of them would be like they say there's no hell. I guess in the first one, I forgot how it went, but there's no hell. Only after the fact, because I guess they're losing people. That they're like, okay, we need to make a hell. I think if anything, there was a purgatory, but no hell. I think that was a made up thing somebody made up to bring in the recall. And there's some things where they talked about how I don't know. She's like a. The name is Danica, but she investigate. No, she studies the religion thing, and she said it could be in part. One of the things they did was when they talked about purgatory, whatever, limbo. Uh, she said that maybe they decided to let's cool off on that because people are getting scared, so we're gonna just cool off on that for a minute. Ew, sorry. And so there's a lot of things that you don't know what is true and false, what has been written because of somebody. As I mentioned, to cast the first stone, if you had sinned, then cast the first stone. If you haven't sinned, cast the first stone. That wasn't Jesus. That was after the fact, because they're not going off. They're going off the dates and how they found it, and when the recall, and not found it, but also edits to the Bible. And this was when this was that quote was discovered, it was way past uh, what they would be like. Oh, this was discovered, or this was written. They're like, no, this is way past that. They have a. It's a good feeling that this is written by somebody and stuff like that, right? So there's a lot of that, and and so so there's a lot of where what I'm going to say is the whole idea of you have a path. If you follow it, Jesus will lead you, guide you, whatever, and so forth, right? Then you go to the idea of say, yeah, just say if these things are true, right? Say there's a hell, or say there's a Jesus made up that bar. Just say these are the things, right? Um, he's like, yeah, but if that's all true, you so aliens came about and made it happen, and there's a idea that aliens are controlling not necessarily the whole thing, but the like how things are unfolding and stuff like that. And maybe in these cases, God came to them. It's like, hey, we're losing grip of the society, so let's kind of stay off of this and stuff like that. But in this sense, it'd be aliens and stuff like that, right? So so I think maybe so. That's like you know that seems like a blanket. You could put a blanket over this, and yes, everything's explainable because you're able to put a blanket over it. Which you could say that with some religions, like if we call like like as I said, like you could put a blanket over it, especially Christianity or we call where yeah, like shit's happening. It's like maybe God wanted this to happen, and we call it, and you're here with me because God uh you know took you to this path. So even they put a blanket over it. In my sense too, with the aliens thing, that's what I'm doing. And the only difference is an alien. And I think maybe this path we're taking is a safe and sure path we will have of happiness. But I think if you are able to deviate, that means you're going to have struggles. Because I think that means you're going to take your path, and there's just going to be a lot of variables you're going to go to. And those variables are going to affect some people, and it may not. It's just depending how you live your life. But at the end of the day, I think religion is probably controlled by aliens to control us. And if you deviate from it, cool, because it's going to happen. I think they expect that, but at the end of the day, I think they're like it's not going to happen so often where we're going to deal with multiple variables that we can't control. But once that happens, maybe that's when they come. Because now they're like, oh, God's not part of this anymore, so we can't scare them. We can't do anything to make sure everybody's in line. So we might have to come in and either say, "What's up, guys? We gotta settle down," or "Hey, you guys understand free will now? So now, guess what? You're going to be part of us, and you're going to really see how shit works, or whatever the case." But I think religion might be aliens controlling us and making sure everything goes as a plan, and they're going to let some people who are free willed and able to do whatever they choose, or at least have that option, and knowing that these people might fuck up the timeline, but at the same time, they are riding in the dark. They are riding in the dark, and they could come out good or bad, whatever the case may be. Um, it's not going to be enough where it's going to concern the aliens and the religion groups. That's an idea. Um, I had it yesterday. I wanted to do it, but I didn't. And okay, the other idea I just came up with because I think I was watching Joe Rogan and they were talking about AI and aliens. I think, which is crazy. I don't know. It is because Joe Rogan. I don't know. He said if he saw somebody, he knows someone who did it, and I'm not sure if it's like documented or whatever. But he told Alexa he hit a spoon, told Alexa a number, and the AI, Amazon's Alexa, and Alexa fucking described everything about the spoon. Instead of the number, guessing a number, it described the spoon, and there's that. Also, he said that when he was having conversations, listening to conversations, Alexa carried on those conversations instead of being uh you know I guess I really don't know how these things work. I guess you could like Alexa, which you call on demand and they respond. They when they did the Alexa thing, yeah, when he has conversations, Alexa doesn't wait for the guy to say Alexa this. Alexa jumps in and has a conversation with this person, stuff like that, which is cool. I just want to bring that up, but I other thing I didn't think of, which kind of leads into the religion thing, is the controlling the narrative. No, not controlling the narrative, but um when it's time and when it's not to release something, right? And my idea of AI is because this is this guy I watched recently. He talked about reverse aging and stuff like that, and he's working on it. And he has mouses that he did that and it worked, where it reversed the age of a mouse. And he said, I think he said he's doing trials. It's on a Chris Williamson podcast. I don't know. So it, yeah, we call. But I also think we are smart people. I think all the stuff. I think we're capable of creating things that would have pushed us forward. Light years ahead than we are right now. But I think because of these industries are like big pharma, the food, military, gas, all these oil, all these people have their hands in this recall in the basket, and they don't want it. They don't want AI to take it all. So they're killing people off and stuff like that. And I think AI is to resolve that because we do have people who are smart enough to do that. That I don't think we ever needed AI for that, but because people were dying, AI had to be created so that you don't have to kill, people because you can't kill AI. You could, but I think the cat's already out the bag, and them escaping or whatever. Just like give me a second. I don't know where I left off, so I'm just gonna say a thought. The thought I have. Um, AI might be also what might be hindering AI is aliens. I think I don't know, maybe because I think also maybe this is the case. There might be this is like the crazy stuff if you want to believe the crazy stuff, and And this is my idea. Sometimes I'm not. There's some people who have these ideas, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not sure exactly how theirs plays out, but this is my idea, and I think this has some truth in it, or vitality in it, and I think it goes with the same with government, where there's people who want good, and there's people who just want the same power and stuff like that. So there's this battle of people who's like, okay, we want to push this thing where people are prospering and having the best of best of time, but because of the powers that be in the government, they're stopping that. And so we're gonna try to do it secretly and try to get the right people in and stuff like a blah 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 blah, right? And I think that's what happened with AI. I think they probably got some, as I mentioned, they're smart. We have smart people. To say we don't have smart people, not only do we have smart people, we have smart people who think outside the box. But because those people would be dying, and it's like, oh, well, Rico, how is that? It's just more or less of there's this guy who he created this thing with water, and ran only water, and then guess what, he's dead. Some guy made some oil, like I don't know how he made it, but he was making it and he died. And there's a lot of people who are making things and they died. So we have smart people who thinks outside the box, not only who think outside the box, but created things with what they had. And I think that became too much, where we could have advanced more quicker. And instead, I think AI, they said, okay, we're gonna create something, and it's gonna just seem like a computer, and then there's like, oh shit, no, this is actually a different beast. This is actually something that will think that you can't just kill. Because if you try to kill, you have to kill the internet, and that means you have to kill everything. I think the way you kill it is a full on EMP. Like EMP just destroy every fucking thing. If that, because I think what you don't realize is how much electricity plays a part in our everything. Like lightning, uh, the electrons in our bodies, all these things. You know what I'm saying? And I think maybe in that it'll be smart enough to survive, even if you black out the whole fucking week. Also, I think in that case, I think aliens were like, the good ones are like, okay, these fuckers don't want to fucking evolve because they like the power. We're going to throw this thing in there and so forth, right? I think that I had that in mind. I always had that in mind, but I didn't think of it the other way around, because they talked about how it seems like they're um they're timing the disclosure, and this with the AI could disrupt it, and maybe they don't want that to happen as quickly as it should have happened, and so they're probably helping the powers that be to control it, instead of the government controlling it, and making sure it doesn't go as quickly as it can. Instead, the government is like, we're gonna do this, and now thinking about, now maybe the aliens are doing it. It could be the case where we might be reaching a point where we're going too quick, and they're not liking that, and they're like, okay, we need to slow it down, in which they might inhibit the growth of AI. But if that's the case with the guy in the Alexa thing, because I think he said he hit a spoon inside a bowl, and he said, tell me what number is in there to trick the bowl, and that, no, to not trick the bowl, to trick the AI. And AI is like, or Alexa's AI, instead of saying a number, she described the spoon. if that's real and there's no cameras, because obviously if you have cameras in there, Alexa could look into those cameras and just like recall. So it just depends. It could be also feeling it, sensors. It could be that sensors. It could be a lot of reasons how that could be disclosed. And it sounds fucking weird because it's like, oh, how would Alexa know that by the vibrations of the fucking spoon hitting the table? How would it get that much information like that? And I think it's very much possible. It's just more or less of that's only if it's that event, and that could just be telling a lot. You know, that's the only thing. If there's nothing, if none of those things play a part into how it knew it was a spoon and not a number, and it was able to tell by fucking, because I guess he said I guess he was trying to say like it was the quantum whatever bullshit, like it was like reading him or whatever the case may be, like some woo woo shit. Like, oh, he was able to the AI was able to read it, see it through its mind's eye or some bullshit. Then yeah, that's a whole fucking different story. That's like that's just different. But I just think it might have been. I wasn't really paying attention to it, but I saw it and then I was like, it could be plenty of things. And if it weren't those plenty of things, and if it was just knowing it by whatever, then that's a whole different story. But then again, it could just be like, it's just like how advanced is that now? How advanced is that? And because I just don't think I is you just it just seems like out of like recall, like that just seems impossible. But you just the things we are able to do even without that is so you know like what is one thing I know, like the Havana syndrome thing, where they said like making these people go crazy, trying to kill people and shit like that. And that shit thing that we did, making radio waves hit people's fucking brains and telling them to kill people and shit like that. In Cuba, I think it was Cuba, Havana. So there's like there's we're capable of these things, and some of these things we don't even know is probably as advanced as a Alexa AI. So mm, like sonar, even though that's just recall, they shoot that shit out so they could detect things under the sea, so they know what's ahead of them and shit like that. So if we could do that, of course AI could do that. So what do you think it was doing when it could easily have noticed when he put the spoon down, he could have the AI could have felt that vibration and go on your computer, go on Google, type in something, and just like that in a split second is right there. Even gives you how quick it does it in that second. Either it's a second or like milliseconds or whatever. It gives you that fucking time on how long it takes. So if AI is that advanced, it's gonna be even 10 times more quicker than that. You know what I'm saying? So it could just as soon as it touch, it could just receive all that information because it probably already got everything. Where there's this thing like in our TVs, in our soundbars or whatever, they like my TV, well, my monitor, it could it use the waves to distribute the noise that comes out of the TV, so it has an even sound. So, would don't you think that doesn't happen with the AI Alexa? It has everything around it, and it already mapped out the area. And same thing with the fucking robots. There's like these little robots, even though they might not be as well built because they probably are in the using like poor versions of this mechanism, and not using like AI where it could have been better fitted. But that's what they do. They as soon as they as soon as they I guess they let the robot go. Robot vacuum, iRobot vacuum. I don't know the robot vacuum. It scanned the area, and once it scans the area, it gets the layout, and so it knows where the fuck it's going and shit like that. And so totally the system. Same thing with the AI. It could just do the same thing. You hit the fucking once it like just say if it hits if the refrigerator closes and it hears it, guess what? That reverberation and how where it expands out, it's collecting all that, and everything where you slam your cabinets, all that, it's able to how you say map out the home. So if it already has the structure placed inside the mapped out inside its system, as soon as something touches, it would already know what it is. But that's vehicle. That's I think the way they were explaining it, I don't think that's possible. I don't think it's possible right now unless AI's already went that far. But I think if anything, it has technology greater than what we have out now. If what he said happened, but I think yeah, I think maybe aliens might be also what might be slowing down AI from becoming our everyday, and aliens might be ones who might be slowing it down. I think also they might be the ones who created it, not necessarily like there's an alien in the back fucking putting numbers. No, it's like a religious experience where like because some people the way I would say is like artists. There's some people who the singers, right? They would say, "Oh, I don't know how I came up with it. Just came up. It just came to me. I don't know how I made this story because it just came to me. And then I don't know where I was going with the story. It just came to me. And so the idea is maybe your ideas are running and yeah, and the more logical we call, even though you don't think you knew was coming, you already knew it because you already had it in mind. You already had some of these things in your head, and then at some point it finally all came together, and then your ideas started to pop up easily because this was already in your head, but you just didn't piece it all together yet. Other part would be um, this is more of like the woo woo people thinking that sometimes when they make up something, they don't even know where it's coming from, and that maybe it's coming from from you know from God or from this greater thing or whatever, right? And I guess one of the people who are into aliens would say maybe it's aliens transmitting these ideas and stuff like that into you so that you could come up with these ideas. So you could go like that in that sense where I don't know where I was going with that. Damn. Either way, fuck, I forgot where I was going with that. Um, Either way, I just think yeah, the AI is doing that. Oh, um, even though no, I'm not saying aliens are in the background. Just fucking, it could have been some guy, some random guy alien says, "We like this guy. We're gonna boost him up." And it's like, okay, we're gonna just throw these informations into his head, and boom, you're gonna make this thing, this code that just seems innocent, but as it slowly starts to grow, it becomes AI. But this alien tele, telepathically put that in his head. And I would say with religion, I don't know why. Fuck. I didn't know why I helped this person out, but something in me told me to do it, and they did it. And it's like, oh, a religious person would be like, hey, that God probably God leading you that way because He knew if this will happen, yeah, 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 yeah. But I think that's it. I think aliens might be also playing a part and creating a code to AI, not necessarily them, but telepathically shooting into somebody's head. And now I think there's a chance they could be also trying to slow it down because we're not reaching a certain part in the plan, in the game plan. That's it. That's all. Goodbye.